Hello. What episode is this? 4?
4 or 5. 4 or 5.
We should know this, but we've had a little break.
Counting Insights as episodes? No, I think 4.
I think it's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 4. And we're going to talk about manifestation today, which I feel is huge. We're going to talk about the spiritual aspect, the scientific, which is more Jen, if I'm honest, because this is newer to me. I'm probably 6 years into manifestation, whereas you're
longer.
So you'll hear Jen's voice a lot more than mine.
Yeah, but it's too. Yeah.
It's
too sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say, and I've got a lot of experience.
Oh God,
with
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
But I feel like you're very tapped into the scientific more so than me. But yeah, it's going to be interesting either way.
Yeah, and but that's only because, and I think I've said it before, I do love a fact.
You do love a fact.
So, I am a sciencey person, and I love that. As in, I like an understanding of. I don't do anything without understanding why I'm doing it, unless I'm all right that I don't understand why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So it's my terms. So I think from the opener, so when I first kind of consciously jumped on my spiritual path, I was then led, and it was through manifestation. So through all of the things that I do, from crystals to meditation and just from journaling, everything in between that I've learned, it was when I hit conscious creating and what is manifestation that sparked me off into there's a whole system, the scientific, tangible system to this that our brain is 100% on board with. Yeah. It all stems from our brain and our heart and then everything else around it. And that got me into, as you say, the science side of it, the science side of everything that we're doing spiritually here. Was driven, my insight into that was driven by when I first, ironically, came across what conscious creating is.
So from your little story, it's not little, your story. When did you read about manifestation? And then realised what you were doing, or did you read about manifestation then put it into play as such?
I don't know what came first.
Okay.
As such, things blur. Like, one of the early things, something that I've always kind of done is meditating. And I feel like, so in my late 20s, when I came back to this world, this path, probably fully immersed myself onto a path, a spiritual path, became that seeker, and started to meditate, properly meditate. I think I had a curiosity as to, well, what am I meditating for? And sitting and doing that introspective work, and then kind of being guided by the words within meditations, the guided meditations, and then which then lead you down a path of, okay, so what, you're in your meditation, and it's okay, so how do we want to feel? What are we searching for? What are we looking for? And then breathing into that and creating a visual around that. And then all of a sudden this starts to come in and create, doesn't it? And then the logic in me outside of the meditation goes, well, how do we get to that then? Because it's all right thinking about it, thinking about serene, thinking about calm and confident, and thinking about, how you want your life to look, and then visualizing it. And unbeknownst to me, I was already, 2/3 the way there. but then it's that, okay, so how do I actually, how do I get that? And then that is that third step of behaving that way to manifest those things. So it was through meditating that I realized this is something. There is a something.
Yes. I get that. Yeah.
And that something is that conscious co-creation, which is the manifesting. But also I think just being in that world. So like we say all the time, when you open yourself up to something, stuff just comes at you. And I have a belief that you have the insight to, oh, did you know you could do this, when you're ready for it? You know, when you're ready to take ownership of that and become that co-creator. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it just came to me as I felt I was ready. Okay, so I meditate. So then how do I go from my mind to my 3D reality? You know, what is that? And then that is this for me.
Mine started in COVID. I mean, a lot started in COVID for me.
Yes, yeah.
But I had a lot of time, as did everybody. And I don't know how I came across it, but it was The Secret.
Well, to add, before I don't add it and forget, because I know where you're at.
Okay.
You asked about reading. So I do want to say,
yes,
I have to say this. The 2 books that I read on said topic, the first books, one from the spiritual perspective was a book by Abraham Hicks called Ask and It Is Given.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, and we're going to talk about that phrase, ironically enough. And then the second book was Change the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza. That might have got that title slightly wrong, but we'll rectify that. But so his was the neuroscience, quantum physics, the science behind it, but he brings it's all still spiritual. There's a huge honor to that in that book. And then Asking It Is Given, and you're going to go on and carry on about The Secret.
But mine was The Secret, and I remember it was this audio book, and I listened to it on my walks, and I just used to be out for hours. And that was the first thing I listened to, and I remember just thinking, it was opening my mind up and expanding my mind. But then a part of me was like, oh, I do some of this already. And then I started to think back of things that I've drawn into my life.
Yeah.
And stuff. Looking at The Secret now, it is so much more.
Yeah.
Now it's bigger. It's so much more expansive now than what I know. But that was the start.
That was your key. Key turner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you... So me knowing you before the Sam I know now, and what that I'm friends with, let's say, you did not strike me, that version of you did not strike me as a person who would ever become the woman you are today, in terms of that mindset, that open mindset, the spiritual aspect of, where you're at now. So I know, and I do know, a lot happened for you in COVID. I know that it was a very, very poignant, pivotal time. And I think it was layered for you. I think there's a lot of reasons. Yeah. There's a lot of opener-upperness for you.
Very.
There was no one thing, was it?
No.
Yeah. Because prior to that, as I say, the Sam I knew before COVID, I would never have thought, fast forward her 6-7 years and, we'd be where we are, and you'd be thinking the way that you're thinking. So reading The Secret, did any part of you at the time, that more, I'm trying to find the word to describe this version of Sam that I'm referring back to, but did any part of you go, oh, this is what the hell?
No, I was just curious.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just really curious. And then she was saying about, like, you've got so much power, and I was just intrigued to know, okay, well, what can I do?
But do you think that's because, so you use that word, and
I think that was the book. It was called Power.
there is a but
yeah.
And you, because you again, going back to the Sam before, very, very much a strong, powerful character. So do you think that kind of power tapped into you knowing that you were a strong, powerful woman that wanted more but didn't know what that more was, but it was all before based in a 3D perhaps?
Yes,
and
I
then
would.
that word perhaps and that feeling spiked that curiosity.
Yeah, it was just it just stirred something within me.
Okay.
And I don't know specifically what.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, well, I've drew things, and I'm just trying to think the way I would think back then.
Yes.
How I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I've thought of something I wanted and I've got it.
Yes, and then that tied into, maybe there's a bit of magic there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, like an example, an Audi. The version of me now doesn't. It was very superficial.
No, the materialist.
Yeah, it was very materialistic.
Yeah.
Back then, but that's what I was doing back then. That
yes,
was my
and I
mind.
remember. Yeah, I do remember the car. And
I was thinking, I want an Audi, and I had it in my head, and I had a picture, and I screenshot a picture, and I used to look at it on my phone, be like, "That's going to be mine."
Which we now know is an actual tool,
Yes.
actual method. It has a name.
But back then, I didn't. I just knew that I wanted an Audi, and the reasons were shallow, but I wanted it. I worked hard, and I knew I could get it.
Yes,
and I did.
But all very 3D, very solid, pragmatic.
Yes.
Not somebody. If I'd have come along and tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Do you know your vision boarding?
Yeah.
And do you know that you're now creating a hell of a lot of energy to come together?" And you're just by thinking about it and looking at it, you're drawing that up onto you. And when it arrives, you will have co-created that with you'd have gone.
I just thought, I'm working hard, and because I'm working hard, that's what I'm striving for.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to get because of the type of person and very much was determined. I'm going to get it.
Yeah,
and I got it.
Yeah,
and that was many things.
Yes.
My house, but certain things in my life at that time.
Can I just ask really quickly?
Go on.
Oh, I am going off. I'm not going off, but it's not written down. Do you feel now it was easier to manifest those 3D materialistic things when you didn't know you were manifesting them than now when you try to, I'll remove that word, when you're aiming to actively co-create? When you didn't know what you were doing, was it easier than now you do know what you're doing?
Probably.
Yeah.
It probably was
I
easier.
agree. I would agree for me personally too.
Yeah, because now when I manifest, it's so powerful.
Mm.
And when I realised how powerful it was, I almost got scared.
You hold back, yeah.
Yeah, because
not you personally, but I think we go, oh, do I really?
Yeah.
Don't think about it too much. Be careful what you wish for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we almost limit it, or depending on what it is scary, because I've manifested literal things.
Yes.
And people and places.
Yeah.
And that's probably what scared me, and I've pulled back a bit because what I do differently now is I pull on the feeling more than the actual thing or whatever.
And do you think it's because you're more involved now in terms of manifesting an Audi? To me now, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I'd have thought, wow, that's like huge. Now that's like a dead simple thing to do because it's actually meaningless. The stuff we're manifesting now is so much more evolved because we are talking about feelings, we're talking about states of mind, we're talking about expansion, we're talking about things that don't actually, it's not, oh, I want a new mobile phone, or, you know, it's, right, I want to travel and I wanted this, but it's not, oh, I want to go to some 5-star hotel in the Dominican. It's not that.
No.
It's so much, it's wider, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like, thinking then, my Audi, I was clear and I had clarity that that was that.
Simple.
Whereas now, the travel thing is huge for me, but then that's where I might struggle sometimes because it's vague as such.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's when I will then go into, well, how do you want to feel traveling? What lies behind that, which is freedom. And that's when it becomes harder.
Yeah, I mean, funny that, like, when you say about travel, we've spoken about travel and stuff before, and I'm very much, you know, at the travel bit, and I 3 or 4 years ago it was on my yearly goals, if you like, to travel to and see at least 3 new cities a year. Okay.
So you were specific.
I was
on
specific,
the 3.
yeah, because that gave me a target.
Yes.
Because there are, and we will go into this, and just to flag it, I think we're going to have a part 2. We said we're going to assess.
This is big. Yeah.
But yeah. So, and it's quite funny how, and again, I know we will come into the how to at some point, but when you talk about travel and the seeing it and what that all means. So the first year that I was very conscious of, right, you know, new cities, and you think, oh, you know, holiday. I initially thought holiday too, but then within that year, I'd gone to Glasgow with work, and I was like, this is a new city. Does this count? Is this on my, have I? And that was through work, and I had to go for a customer, but it was still a new place. So you've got to acknowledge it. So it comes to you, and Audi's an Audi. You go out and buy that specific car. But when you think, I want to travel more, you've got to be real keen on picking up on, well, I saw a new city.
Mm-hmm.
Might not have been on holiday with the kids, you know, eating all my favourite food, but I did go to and I went to somewhere else as well that year, and that was through work. Don't get me wrong, I did vacation to new places, but I think as we'll expand on, it's having that awareness and picking up on the smallest of detail, the smallest of experiences that you're going to get when you go, right, I'm desiring, I'm aiming for, I'm intending this. And then let's say it's to attract more money, and then you walk out your door and there's a 5p piece on the floor. You have to accept, you might be asking for £1 million, but that 5p, you can't get to 1 million without a penny.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the universe going, ta-da.
Yeah.
And that's what you're ready for on that day. So,
and it's acknowledging that.
You've got to acknowledge
and accepting it.
Everything, and going, oh, okay.
And being grateful for it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because gratitude's massive amongst all this.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But it is funny, isn't it? As you say, we sit and we think, oh, but I agree, circling back to the question, I agree it's that harder. When you're not aware of what you're doing, it's easier. But harder now, which you think, well, it completely contradicts, but because there's just so much more learning behind, you know, what we're doing, isn't there? So Sam had said, like, about, you know, we need to kind of pull out some experiences to show the truth to this in our lives.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that I aren't in a position to talk about for my own reasons. You can ask privately, but yeah. All good, nothing but just not in a position. The areas of my life where I've consciously created the most change are in areas which, as I say, I'm not willing to talk about. But one of the earlier memories that I have of kind of actually seeing something fulfill was when we were away and Zach was only a baby, and we'd been for breakfast like the first morning in the restaurant, and there wasn't a great deal that I could have given him for breakfast. And I remember thinking to myself that following morning, oh, I wish they had a bit of Weetabix for him, because he loved Weetabix like when he was a kid, a baby. And I thought, I wish we had some Weetabix. So we were in Spain, we were in Benalmádena in Spain. I wish they had Weetabix. Now, when I say this restaurant was traditionally Spanish, you wouldn't have. They didn't even have anything like close to that. So then we walked down to breakfast that second morning, and there was a waiter literally walking past from the kitchen to across the restaurant, full waiter suit, white shirt, black, and with a silver tray, and all that was on his silver tray was a box of 24 good old-fashioned British Weetabix, bright yellow, staring at me in the face. And I remember, it does give me goosebumps. I remember standing in the doorway of the restaurant going, I just manifested a box of Weetabix. You can see I'm like, honestly, I was like,
that's going in the ad.
Yeah, because because, and it is that simple.
Yeah.
And there are levels.
You can play about.
Well, it's fun. It's playful. You've got to be playful with it.
Yeah.
You've got to laugh about these things.
And it's good to experiment with little things like that to prove
it
that
is.
It does.
It is. Something's with us. It is. Yeah. Because so. Right, so there's levels. Yeah, there are levels to manifestation, and Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about this. Again, I'm going back like my early understandings of these things that I still remember now, because you've got to go back to basics. Doesn't matter what you desire, you've got to go back to basics. And just trying to think of how he describes it in let's say, I think he talks about strawberries in this analogy that he gives, and he says, okay, so there's manifesting when you can, you think about strawberries. For example, you fancy some strawberries, and then, an advert comes on the TV about strawberries. So that's like layer one, if you like. Still thinking about the strawberries. Level one, still thinking about the strawberries, and then, you're, I don't know, somebody next door comes in, and then they've got some strawberries in their shopping basket, the carrier bag. You see that going, and then there's like top level strawberry manifestation, where somebody, and this is my Weetabix example, where somebody literally knocks on your door and says, I'm selling strawberries. You're sat on your sofa, and you're that into the strawberries, yet really removed, because you don't care if you really do get the strawberries. Somebody literally brings them to your door, and you go, wow, that's powerful. So there's levels where things are literal, as you say, whether you literally, you ask and it's given. But then there's other stuff where it's it is very in depth, and it's not so simple, because one doesn't hold any limiting beliefs about Weetabix and strawberries, so it's super easy for that to just come, because there is no emotional, mental, physical attachment to strawberries.
Yeah.
But when you want money or a husband, you have a belief system that is fully charging that programming.
Exactly. And there's an ego that sits behind it, and then limits.
Yes.
But there's a whole layer above the limit, but you're limiting your manifestation
to that belief system.
Yeah.
So I think we've skipped on a bit, because
Sorry.
don't apologise. I don't care.
That was us.
I don't care. I know this. It's fine. I'm just thinking about them. So You might be wondering why we're looking at the sofa. We've got no whiteboard today.
We've got no whiteboard, but there's a lot to cover, so
Yeah,
we
it's
want
important.
to make sure. Yeah,
I don't think we've have we actually said what manifestation is? Okay, shall we start there? 26 minutes in. We'll start with let's start with, we definitely haven't said what it is, have we? Or what we think it is. Who knows? We're not God.
Yeah.
Well, we are, but we're not. We're not. I don't mean
That's
to
another
completely
conversation.
ignore what I just said. Shit. Headline. That'll go in. That's in the. That's
an edit.
That's in the edit. Okay, so come on then. What is it? What is manifestation?
Well,
Samantha?
you've come from your technical term.
Oh, I said this before, didn't I? I don't know if I can recall it. Okay. Take a breath. Manifestation for me is it's everything that we're. I remember saying this, and you were stood at the door. I'm trying to remember what I was saying. I can remember what we were doing, but remember what I was saying. Manifestation for me is everything that you are, everything that you believe across every area of your life, every topic that you could ever talk about. What you have, the way you think, the way you feel, that is manifestation. Is that along the lines of what I said?
Yeah.
The way in... Go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to go into the frequency and stuff.
Yeah. So the way that you are, the way in which you're manifesting and what you're manifesting is based upon the way that you see the world, life, and all the areas and all the topics that within life, how you see that. And that is what you're manifesting, for the majority, completely unconsciously. When you're aware of manifestation, and when people go, do you manifest? Which is a daft question, because yes, everybody's manifesting. Don't listen to anything anybody that says, do you manifest, says after they say that sentence. Top tip. I'm not joking, but I'm joking. When you are aware that you're already manifesting, the way that we consciously co-create is by changing everything that you already believe in, changing the way that you see, think, feel, behave, to alter that which you've already manifested. And as I was saying about the meditation versus well, how do we do this? It's that change. That's that co-creation. But yeah, manifestation is how your system currently operates, and therefore what life you're delivered based on how you see, think, feel, and move through the world.
I like to think of it as frequencies, like layers, like levels. And no matter what level you're on, it is just, as you say, as you're viewing the world. Like, and once you start leveling up on mindset, you start pulling in.
Yeah. And I just want to say as well, though, I don't think manifesting, it's a huge thing for us because we know how in control we are through our knowledge of manifesting and co-creating. And I think the word now, I do think it gets quite a bad rap. I think it's being used that much. I think it's actually being commercialised.
I do.
And I find it really annoying because it's gone from something that's really quite special to...
It's so powerful.
Yeah, to the words just being used so much. And it's like, oh, you manifested that. It's like,
there's no depth to...
It's lost its depth.
Yeah.
Through increased awareness, it's actually lost its depth. And it's become this word, I feel, because it's not a word, it's a way of life. but it's become this word now that people just kind of throw around and almost take the piss out of stuff with it. And I get that. Like, I've had that over the years where people will be like, oh, you manifested that. You know what I mean? Like, as in making fun of.
Yeah.
Did you manifest that? You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
That's just
But
highlighting their limited belief, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But what I was going to say is, this isn't, you don't need, if you're listening to this conversation and you're like, oh, I don't want to get into another thing, or it just doesn't gel. It's not something that, you don't have to go away and start practicing manifestation, because I guarantee you're doing it anyway. That's not me. We just are. But I think what I'm meaning to get to is, if you're happy thinking of manifestation as in, well, I set goals and I take steps, and that is manifesting. So you don't have to kind of go to the depths of thinking about energy coming together and atoms and all of this. You don't have to do that. You don't have to think about how your brain is processing all this and creating it. You don't have to think about like attracting like. You don't have to think about what we're going to, masculine, feminine, giving and receiving. You can listen to this, and then your goal setting is enough. That's enough of an intention to set, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what we're trying to do with this conversation is open anybody who wants to be opened up to and have a bit more insight on our place in this world, and the position that we're in and the power that is at hand when you start working in line with nature, and you start working in line with energy, and you just become very more consciously kind of, right, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'm moving to, and okay, how do I start to behave in the world, and who do I need to become? And and it becomes so much more easier, I feel, just to be, I think it helps to be better people. I think people that are consciously creating their lives are all over nicer people, very much removed from any kind of victim mindset, aren't they?
Yeah.
Very much in charge yet surrendered. And so that is the point, isn't it, of kind of what we're getting to. This does not take away from anybody or who's out there goal setting and just practically moving forward to, you do not have to have a belief in all of this what we can't see to create old
Because
version of Sam
we've
was
just
doing
said that.
Yeah,
We were still doing that, but my older version would be, I used to have like a 5-year diary, and I used to write. I don't do that anymore.
yeah,
I write stuff down. I'm more of like a short term.
right, okay,
I will have an ultimate
okay,
vision.
a bigger picture.
I've got a big picture.
Yeah,
And it's always been the same since I've been consciously creating. It's always been the same. But then when I am manifesting, it's localized as such.
okay,
It's shorter term.
okay. Is there a reason?
So it's different.
Is there a reason why? Do you find that?
Because I feel like I
Right.
tap into that bigger, the long-term version, and I know it's going to happen. It's already there. It's happening.
Right.
But then there's things I want, like a holiday.
Is that a short term?
October.
Okay.
Holiday.
Right.
That for me is something I'm manifesting at the minute.
Right. So.
But I won't tend to go next year, end of next year.
Right, okay.
That's
me. Too far away for you. Right. And when you say bigger picture, just so I'm curious, just so people can kind of, think, well, where am I at, and what because I think a lot of this is different for everybody.
Yeah,
how far we think is, it's very, very unique to the person, isn't it? And you can test out manifesting, attracting a tenner, or Weetabix, or strawberries, or whatever, or an Audi, or a holiday, or marriage. But when you say bigger picture, what is that? Is that end of life
That's ultimate.
that you'll reflect back on? Like, this is the life I had. Is it 10 years, the ultimate, when you want to have attained bigger picture?
It's not.
Is there no time
There's
on
no
it?
time
It's
on
just
it.
ultimately
It's the picture.
when
it's
it comes.
the life.
Okay.
But there's no time frame
Yeah.
on that.
How do you measure that? As in, that seems like a really daft question, because you'll measure it when you can see it. But you and I knowing, which you shouldn't do, not that you do that. What I mean by that, okay. So okay, wait a minute. Backtrack.
Yeah.
Rewind. Reverse. So what I mean by that is, because you can't wait. You know, people have that mind, that belief, that mindset of, well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
We've got to get that out there. This isn't written down. You have to believe it before you see it.
Yes.
Okay, you've got to believe it before you see it. So that's a really important thing. And when I asked you, how will you measure when it's there, and I said, well, you'll see it. And what I meant by that is, Sam will know, because she will go, oh, I've got that there now, and that's there now, and this is, so things will place, so you'll know that you've arrived. But we never really arrive, do we? So knowing that you have this bigger picture of what you intend your life to look like, for you to have fulfilled all of your desires, but also you and I know that things move and change. So is it that feeling? So you will know that, yeah, I'm here and settled and content because I feel. You might not necessarily have the physical things that are in your picture at the moment, but are you gauging and measuring on how you're feeling within your life day to day and year to year?
Yeah. So in that picture as such, there's no specific person or no specific place, but I'm standing in a place and I have a visual and I've got the feeling as well. But then I tap into that feeling in other areas of my life, and it's the feeling more for me. And then if the picture will come as a product from that feeling, I feel like, but it's really hard to.
It is hard.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when I stand there feeling what I feel in my visual and looking at what I'm looking at, it's just the whole thing.
Yeah. I think so.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. Something that a phrase that might have that, just to kind of link that.
Yeah.
So something that Joe Dispenza says is, he talks about cause and effect, and the way he redefines that when we talk about manifestation is cause and effect, meaning, linking that back to what you're describing there, is you want to be aiming to think, feel and behave in a way that causes an effect. And the effect is the desire.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is, in your imagery how you feel.
Yes.
And that feeling will cause a 3D reality to grow around that feeling, essentially, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is a good one. I think and knowing that statement, that cause and effect, if ever I'm a bit lost in something and I'm focusing on the lack of, and I'm wondering, why isn't this coming? When is it coming? What because we all do. I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I'm a human being. I'm faulted, so when you get a bit lost in things that you're after, because when you do start consciously creating, it means a lot. You're not tending to, the bigger things that you start shifting your focus onto, aren't they? So it does mean quite a lot. So you can get lost. It isn't as simple as thinking, oh, I wish they did Weetabix downstairs, and having really no I mean, that's what you're aiming for. You're aiming to have absolutely no attachment, care, consideration, just complete surrender to everything that you're after. But you wouldn't be after it if you, and I think that's the difficult for our human to get over.
It is.
That's the bit, isn't it?
Because you know an area of my life that I'm working on
Yeah.
at the minute, but I know I need to shift that
But
for this bigger.
Yeah, but you're lost in it a bit.
Yeah.
Now I know when Sam and I are chatting, I know that Sam knows she is lost in it. And then that starts to build frustration because we know, and that's where we get really frustrated because we know we shouldn't be frustrated.
Yeah.
We know we don't need to be frustrated, but then we are spirit having a human experience.
Yeah.
So we become human and then we do get lost in it. And then it's like, don't get lost in it. Don't get lost in it. So it is hard. But I think having those phrases, something like that. So how do I cause an effect? So if I'm absolutely skinned, how am I causing that effect? And then that brings me right back to ground zero. Okay, yeah. So how do I cause an effect of not being skinned? And I wouldn't think of it in terms of not being skinned because the word not is not conducive to manifesting. Brain doesn't know what that means anyway. So it would be okay, so how do I cause an effect of sitting in that settled, abundant feeling? And, so it's a good one. I think it's a good phrase, like a good starter off for a phrase, to think
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
Yeah.
Because you're completely responsible for causing that effect.
What we like time-wise?
We are coming up to about 45 minutes in now.
Okay.
And I don't feel we've even scratched the surface.
No, I don't
I'll
either.
be honest. I think that brings us on to perhaps, and we can maybe go over this now and then start part 2 in here. I think the cause and the effect we could talk about. We're not planning. We know you're there. You're going to where we can get people to see how they're causing their current effects.
Okay, yeah.
As in the beliefs, the frequency, the limiting beliefs, and the attracting,
how that
the
is
energy,
mirroring
attracting
in
the energy.
their life, yeah.
Because we haven't even used the word universe yet, have we?
No.
So perhaps, are you happy to go into that? Are you happy to go into the limiting beliefs and frequency?
What, next time?
Well, we could start on it now a little, and then round off, and then people have got something to be looking forward to.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you, when we talk about, so going back to that cause and effect, so we're now tapping into people who are wanting to start manifesting, consciously co-creating, and they're like, yeah, but I'm stuck here with my shit life, and why do I have a shit life? Why me? What am I doing wrong? I'm a good person generally, but shit just happens to me. So they're causing their effects.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from?
Well, it's limited beliefs, isn't
Their
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
their belief
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
So one way to change that is with gratitude.
Yes.
Being grateful.
Yeah.
For what you have got. Because if we, hey baby,
hello puss puss. Hi.
If we are down and saying I don't have this, my life's shit, as you say, I hate even saying it as an example.
A way
I
of
hate
life.
saying that.
Yeah.
Just
because
words are powerful, and
yeah, but we're not. It might be worth saying that. Because I remember once, trying to remember where you were, I remember once posting something on my social media. Hey, I was having a really crappy day at work, and I remember posting something that said, shoot me now. just a turn of phrase. And somebody sent me a message and said, don't say things like that. You'll manifest it. And I was like, no, mate.
Yeah.
This is somebody that you then wouldn't want to talk to about money, because the truth is you have to have a formula. And I know this goes into the how-to a little, but I just want, because you've tapped into it there about this is context. It's for context why Sam's... It doesn't matter, because I have absolutely no belief in me wanting that to happen. So in order to, and I'm not going into the how-to, but I'm going to, from what you said, in order to create, you have to have an absolute belief in said creation, okay, which is made up of, your formula is that thinking, feeling and behaving as if. So me just posting a picture going, shoot me now, because my day is shit. Trust me when I say I am absolutely uninvested and displaced from that. And I posted it. I don't care. I mean, this is years ago now, but I don't care that I posted it. I'm that removed from it. It was just an image. Yeah. But then for somebody to look into that and read into it, that's why social media is dangerous. It's like, come on, please, as if you genuinely think. But you see, I'm so far removed from that phrase, it means absolutely nothing. Therefore, no, I am not manifesting that, because there's nothing physical in my physical self or because you have to have it all combined. You have to have a physical sensation. You can't just sit here, for example, and think, I am happy. That's doing nothing. No. It's got to be, I am happy. I am happy. You've got to feel it. I am grateful and I am so thankful. It's got to be expressive.
Yeah.
So Sam saying that here and now, it feels disaligned, unaligned, because it is.
Yeah.
But Sam is in no way, by talking about, I have a shit life, we don't believe that. So we aren't taking steps to manifesting it by talking about it here and now, because there's nothing in you that resonates with that statement.
But if you are trying to change your life, if you are sitting here going, I want, we'll go into that language and stuff, but I'd like this, I desire this, and then you're saying, I've got a shit life.
The two and two aren't going to...
Yeah. So if you aren't as conscious, start looking at your language.
So I think that's a good... So that's a bit of homework between now and next time.
Gratitude.
2 things. 1, look at what you currently believe. Pick one area of your life. So relationship, work, health, money. One area of your life, and ask yourself, what do I really believe about love, about money? Have a look at where that's then actually showing up. So if you believe that money is the root of all evil, I bet you've got none of it, right? So just hear me out. If you believe that all men are toxic, I bet you're either in a crappy relationship or you've not got a relationship and you can't find the right man or woman. And what Sam said about gratitude.
Yeah.
What do you want them to do about how can they practice between now and what's their homework?
So as soon as that thought comes in, the negative, so let's go money. So you lack money. Look at what you have got. So it's little things.
Yeah.
Like when a client pays me, I'll say thank you to the client, but then I'll say thank you to the universe as well. As I'm putting it in my purse, the physical cash, I will say thank you for this. Or I get a discount off something at the checkout and I'll go thank you, because that's all money that's going to me.
Yeah.
And although I could go to my bank balance and go, I'm skinned, like I can't have this, I've got to have this, and I'm drawing in on what I am thankful for, those little bits, the 5 pence on the floor, things like that. Or in your relationship, if he never does this or she never does this,
If that's your belief.
if that's your belief, you'll keep drawing that. So I want you to draw in on the positives and the gratitude, and I don't know, but you might. I've not been in a relationship that long. Yeah.
But no,
what happens? You tell me what happens.
What might? Okay, so
He's made you brew. Or
yeah.
something.
Okay. Yeah. So
The
all
little.
So if you pick, so whatever area of your life you pick, let's say it is relationship, and you go, okay, yeah. So I believe this about relationships, and look, that's showing up there. But you want to shift that. So what Sam was saying is, when one little thing happens that is counter to your belief that you've identified, it never cleans up. The moment you spot him putting his shoes on the shoe rack or her shoes on the shoe rack, just go, thank you for putting your shoes on the shoe rack. Might not change the bins, done the dishes, clean the house, changed a nappy forever, but just highlight that you've spotted, seen, and acknowledged. Doesn't have to be to the person, that might feel weird for now, but just for you and just between you and you, I've seen it. I'm thankful for it because I don't know how to do that job. Okay, so just be thankful. So it's just show gratitude for what is happening.
Yeah.
As opposed, once you've identified just one area of your life, one belief that you have about that life, demonstrate how, oh yeah, tie it in. Is that really showing up? And then practice some gratitude for when just one thing that counters that belief happens. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
As within,
so without.
Thank you.